All right, we are starting this video called How to Handshake for the University of Tulsa business students to learn Handshake, the tool of Handshake, our career management profile, career management platform to search for internships, jobs, how to set up your profile, all the things that go with using Handshake. And we affectionately call it How to Handshake. For those of you who I haven't met, I am Leonelle Thompson. I am the Assistant Dean and Director of the Business Career Center at the Collins College of Business at the University of Tulsa. So my job is to make sure everyone in the College of Business is career ready, help you as students and alumni find internships and job opportunities. And one of the tools we use for that is Handshake. So I'm going to show you a couple different ways to log into Handshake. We do have single sign-on. The easiest way to sign in is to go to utulsa.joinhandshake.com. Hit enter. I've already been in the system, but you will see a screen. If it's not you, you'll see a screen such as this. And so it's the UTulsa site. And so you can sign on with single sign-on, or you can use your email address. Keep in mind your email address has to be your .edu email address. So we have already loaded students up to a certain date based on enrollment. If you were maybe not enrolled before we did this in early August, you would have to request access. If you were a student before this year and this isn't your first year, first semester TU, you should be in the system. But it should be your .edu, it has to be your .edu email address. Or you can do sign on with single sign on, which is right here. And that would be, it will take you to the sign on screen and it will pick up that it is your utulsa.edu email address and you can sign in that way. So those are a different couple of ways you can sign on. Another way to find Handshake is if you go to our website, utulsa.edu, and you want to go under menu and go to TU login. You should see the handshake symbol here on the applications that we have. So if you're a first-time user, freshman, first-time grad student, you want to do the first-time user and set up everything. Otherwise, you can click here and it will take you to that same screen for single sign-on. So the applications page is for single sign-on. This is also where you can see all your other things that you need to log into, the portal, self-service, the parking system, web advisor where you'll see your grades. This is that area under applications on the TU website. But we're going to get out of that and we're going to go back to the way I prefer to log in, which is with my email address. That's the way I was set up. So my email address is leh8511@utulsa.edu. Now here again, it'll welcome you back. I would choose University of Tulsa, or I could do single sign-on. I'm going to just choose University of Tulsa. Same thing. Your first time through it, you will have to set your password. And because it's a .edu email address, if you haven't set up your .edu email address yet or you can't access it, definitely go to the applications page on the website to do that, the UTulsa website. It just makes life a lot easier. You can't sign in with a Gmail or a Yahoo or Hotmail because it has to be .edu. That's how we confirm that you are indeed a student here. So if you have any trouble with that, I know if you're a first time, if you're a freshman or you're a first time graduate student, setting up the emails just in general can be trouble, can be hard. But we're going to go forward as if you have set it up. Again, if this is your first time in Handshake, you will need to set up your password. I have a password already set up, so I've been in it many times. So I will save my password and sign in. And so this is, we're going to freshen up our profile. If this is your first time in it, you will have to answer all these questions. So I have a student profile as well as a career services profile. So for my student profile, which I'll show you all, it's just when do you expect to graduate? So I like to set my date as May 2021. What are you looking for? You know, it's May 2021, I'm going to look for an internship. This is just helping you in the search options later on when we get into the system. Any type of roles. I've set up right now, I think, as a CIS student, so all the computer related roles, anywhere you would like to work. So I have some cities that it populates cities that are popular at TU. This is where a lot of our students go to work. So Denver, Tulsa, and Chicago, those are just some of my favorite cities. And so that's what I want to populate for cities. It helps again with the feed that'll come through when you log into the system. Have you worked or volunteered anywhere? You can select the employer. And so I have my resume already loaded, so it automatically populates. Other classes you may have taken. I teach the Business 2001, so that's on there. So this is just an update. If it's your first time, you would go through and select all of these options for yourself. And then when you're done, you can always exit, or you can just click launch to get into their profile. So here's my profile. So it's going to come up with I chose information systems, a lot of those options. So it's going to show me the information system management majors that jobs that those majors want to try. You don't have to click on these. It's a great way to click on them, but you don't, or to shortcut to them, but you don't have to. You can X out of that. And we're going to start with our profile. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to work right to left. I'm going to show you kind of what the profile looks like. When you log in as a business student, you're going to see jobs that are popular in your major. You're going to see events coming up. So we have a welcome back event the first 2 days of school. Other activities that are popular. The ConocoPhillips IT Day is actually outside of our college, but we have a ConocoPhillips Day as well on the 28th. We also have different jobs for students in your major, different questions. So you can engage with other students that are not even at TU to ask about skills. If you're looking at maybe Deloitte, and can someone share what career progression may look like there at Deloitte? So different answers, kind of like a nice little chat area discussion board of different questions for people in your major. We also have, one of my options I selected back on the previous screen was political interest. So there's different jobs for that. Nonprofit, this is based on sometimes your search history. So just different areas. There's reviews at the University of Tulsa. So students have given reviews, jobs in healthcare, jobs in Denver. So this is kind of this is the first page you'll see. While it may seem overwhelming, it's just based on the information you've put in. So part-time jobs, if you're looking in those locations, our employers who are recruiting on campus. So you'll see these are ones. Stonebridge will be at the career fair, as will Honeywell and Geico. So many more. You can always click on one of these and take it and see the other options as well. So employers who actively recruit, so you'll see quite a few actively recruiting on our campus, which will come in handy when you're looking at the career fair and knowing which booths to stop by. So, but let's start on the far right. So I want to just go to the home page, which is the left, but I want to get us back to our home page. So here's my profile. And the first thing we're going to do is under your name with the little arrow, let's click on my profile. Definitely want to update and add a picture, professional picture would be great to add. So you can just go in here and edit. We love to see your photos. We want to see that. So definitely add that to your profile. You have preferred name and last name. You can edit this. So if your name so my name is Leonelle, and a lot of times people not at work, but in my family call me Lee. I could put in Lee here and be fine. That's your preferred name. And then your school year. So I want to place myself as a junior. So you want to select any of the majors or the school year you may be. So you can see freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, master's. If you're an MBA student, you may want to pick Master's of Business Administration or Master's. Both are fine, or either one is fine. And you want to save that. And of course, you can edit your picture by clicking here. Scrolling down, your profile is visible to employers, students, and alumni across all Handshake universities. So anyone who is on Handshake, an employer, a student, or alumni at any university can see your profile. I can see my profile. I've made it public. You can always change that in settings. The default is going to be not public. So you'll want to come down and change that in here. So community, so visible to anyone across all campuses. You'll be able to receive messages from students and alumni who have similar interests. You can make it visible to employers or private. So I recommend either community or employers. It's great to network with the various groups that are in your community, but you can choose either one, community or employers private. Why would you want to make it private? Maybe you've already selected a job and you don't want anyone to know that you are looking, but you are looking. You can say private. So you won't be contacted by any employers, but you can still apply for jobs in a nice private way. So I'm going to leave mine on community right now because I'm not searching for a job. But if you are employers, or if you want to be seen by employers, you can select that. Here's your work authorization. You can always prefer not to answer these. So if you need sponsorship, one thing to note, if you are an international student, I would suggest marking, are you legally authorized to work in the United States, marking yes for internships because of the CPT requirement, and we'll have workshops on that. Will you need now or in the future require visa sponsorship? You definitely need to answer that in regards to your visa status. Okay, so we can go down and save the update. Back to my profile. Let's go down here. So for employers only, this is only for employers. I didn't select to have it visible for employers, but you can select actively looking for a job. So I'm going to put not looking, part-time, internship, and then the cities. Remember the cities I filled out and the job type, job interest I filled out on the other page, they're populating into my profile. So that's what's populating here. Any roles you may have added. I didn't add any roles, but in the industry you may be interested in, you can add them here and you can save that. You can also see more students. So students, maybe with my major, with my graduation year at other universities. So you can network with various students and discover more students. You can see who's viewed your profile. So at one time I did have it open to employers. You can see who's viewed that right here and research a little more about those particular companies. Your skills, we'll skip skills for right now because once you upload your resume, those skills should auto-populate. But you can always add or edit as you see fit. So if you don't want SAP on there, which is SAP, you can always X out of it and then, or add it back if need be. Okay. Documents, so you will need to upload your documents. I highly recommend that you come into the Business Career Center first to have a resume review before uploading a document. So when you manage your documents, you click here. You want to add a new document. So there's four categories, to add a document or types of documents. A resume, a cover letter, a transcript, or other. So you'll see I have some extra in there like Bible Trivia 2018. I was just trying to add a document. Your resume will be, you need to have a name of your resume, like mine is Leonelle Thompson resume. I would recommend not putting a company name in the resume. So just making sure that is the standard resume that you have. Cover letters, I don't have any uploaded. Cover letters are unique to the job you're applying for. This is where you can put the company name in it. So if you're applying to Williams cover letter, because that's specific for Williams. So you won't see many cover letters in there until you start applying for jobs. Not every job will require a cover letter. Transcripts, this is, you can get an official copy of your transcript from the registrar's office, take a picture and upload it. You can get it from Web Advisor. It doesn't look the prettiest, but some jobs or internships do require that you have a transcript. So you want to make sure that's in the system. All the documents need to be in the system before you apply for a job through Handshake. And then of course, any other documents, writing samples, depending on your major, spreadsheets, projects you've done to show that that other jobs may call for those. And you would add a new document by clicking on add a new document, the document name. So I could just call it resume. The type it is, one of the four types, and then you can drag and drop or select it, and then this would populate for you to add it. So if I were to search on my computer and just put, we won't put Abby's out there, but we could, then you'll see that the added document has been added. Okay. So going back to our profile, you can always get to the documents by clicking on documents here if you didn't want to go through the profile area. All right, your journey. So we're at the top now. This is like your objective statement on your resume. So if you think about, not every resume has an objective statement, I suggest you have a My Journey in your Handshake profile. What is it you want employers to know about you or other students who you may be connecting with? So I want them to know I love helping students succeed. I love helping them uncover their interests and passions and pursue their dreams that lead to lifelong fulfillment. So just something short to type in there. Education, this should auto-populate for you. Words of caution here, you can't edit this. So if you are a University of Tulsa student, that's going to be your primary education first and foremost. Make sure you cannot change the school on your primary education. You can change your education level. So right now I'm a bachelor student, but I might, sometimes maybe change for a student to see it from different views as a master's student. Make sure you have your college populated. If we have loaded your profile, your college would be populated. If not, you will have to go in and populate that. As a business student, your college is BA. That's really important for our grad students to realize that you're not in the graduate school, you're still in the College of Business Administration, which is BA. The college is important because we have to, when we do events, sometimes there's qualifiers on who can sign up for events, and that's driven by college. So you want to make sure that the college is populated when you're doing your profile. You can, of course, add your major. If you're a graduate student, you can add in business. You can add major being your program as well. You can have your department GPA or cumulative, or you can choose to hide it. It's totally up to you. If you want to add an additional school, so I got my bachelor's and master's from TU, or if you have a double major, so you are a double major in more than one college, so maybe arts and sciences and the College of Business, you would want to add the University of Tulsa again. Bachelor's degree, choose your college of maybe arts and sciences, and then add maybe media studies as your major. Now I'm going to take out the date, the start date here. It'll let me, it won't. Interesting. So we'll say I started in 2019 and I'll end in 2021 with that degree, with media studies. So you want to make sure you capture all your colleges in there. Okay. But work and volunteer experience should auto-populate from your resume. So that's why I recommend you upload your resume first, so all of this will auto-populate. Be sure to clean it up and make sure it comes in correctly. So I don't have descriptions, it's not required, but definitely add descriptions. Again, an employer view is going to see it and may not look at your resume, so definitely add that. Before I go on, I want to go back to documents just for a second. You can choose what you make visible too on here. So that will help with the employer view, what you make visible, but also having your profile as well. Extracurricular should auto-populate from your resume if you have them on there. If not, go ahead and you can just add an organization. If it's a recognized organization within the system, the logo will pop up. Any courses, this is great for any courses that you're currently taking, maybe taking in the future. You are text limited, but definitely put those out there for an employer. So if you're thinking about an internship, that's going to be next summer. List those courses you will be taking now or in the spring. So letting them know, here are the courses I will have completed by the time I come to work for you. Any projects, if you have done any kind of projects, a video that you put on YouTube or anything like that, you can link here. I link to the Diversity and Inclusion Forum that has an article on the TU website about that. So that's why I link to. And so you want your profile to be 100% complete. If you get to 75 or 80, that's pretty good. And the drivers for that are going to be the photo, education, experience, and a document uploaded. All right, we're going to go to applications. Here's where you can see any jobs that you've applied for. We'll come back to that because I want to work over, it's on the jobs tab. So let's go through notifications first. Here, notifications about things that are upcoming, different events you may have been invited to. You can set all those. I'm going to mark them all as red right now, but you can update those and edit your preferences as you see fit, how often you want to get notified about something. Moving over to the Career Center. This just has different resources you can use. You'll hear me talk about the big interview as an online interview tool going global if you're an international student. So just be aware that that's under Career Center. Any messages, you can message with other alumni, with employers, that would be under the Messages tab. Students, you can see students that may have the same interests as you from different universities. You can select the University of Tulsa only to see who is or who is logged into Handshake, which I hope everyone is. But I remember I'm a CIS student for purposes of this, so I can see everyone who is kind of who's a CIS student that I may not even know, who's up and coming, who is a new student that I may want to reach out to or have a conversation with. There's finance as well. I think my second major was finance, so you can message them within the system, so you'll see me there. So just another handy way to get to know students. Q&A is kind of that first explore questions and answers that I talked about on the home screen. Of questions that may need answered from students that you can give advice. You can search for advice. What is it like to work at Disney for an internship? How did you go about doing that? And other students will respond, which is a great way to learn more. You can see that I don't have any questions, but then if you answer any too, so don't just, ask questions, also answer them. The events page is huge, so all of our events are in Handshake. So you want to go to the events tab and look at our events that are for the Business Career Center or for business students, in addition to other events that employers may have. And so you can log in, you can see the event, the RSVP for an event, you can click here, and you are now registered. You'll get an email about the registration. You'll also be on the email list for any updates that may change to the event. So Monday, we are having our event to welcome everyone back to campus or welcome you to campus in Helmer Hall, second floor, and you can get free donuts and coffee and win some prizes. So definitely hope to see you there. But that's our events tab. And where I want to close out this video is on our jobs tab. How do you go about searching for jobs? So a couple different ways. You can search for job titles. So you can search for I want to be, just intern. I want to be an internship. And say you want to do it in Tulsa. So remember the three I set up earlier, here's where they are. And you'll see that there's quite a few already out there. So Williams is needing a summer internship or summer intern. They always are great internship. You'll see other options. So you didn't specify necessarily the major. You specified you just want an internship in Tulsa. So tons of opportunities out here. So if we were to click on Human Resources Intern for WPX, you'll see in the middle, working our way down. Let's work our way down. The dates that the internship will run, it is paid. They're going to be on campus to interview on September 23rd. And then here's the applications close on September 3rd. So always pay attention to this area right here. You'll also see how if you match the qualifications. So I don't for my major. They're looking for human resources. I'm a CIS major. And the GPA. If you recall, I did not populate my GPA. That not meeting their preferences does not mean you can't apply. You can still apply. So I say when in doubt, apply. Because you may not know your GPA right now. Or, it may say right down below that they actually want someone else who, wants, or someone who is any major, but it's pulling the HR thing. So you just go ahead and apply. How you apply is you would click on the apply button. Now this will pop up because this is an apply within Handshake. Some, if you click on apply, will take you to an external site. You will know you'll go to an external site, and I'll show you a couple of those. You'll know you're an external site because a new browser window will pop up. Here, they are asking you for your resume, and you remember I loaded my resume already. At this point, you can't upload a new one. I just recommend you put them all in Handshake to begin with, so you don't have to get out of that and go to upload new. So you select the one you have, and then a transcript if you have one. Mine says Bible trivia, but if you had a transcript, you would go there, and then you would submit your application. So it would hover, and you could submit your application right there. I'm not going to do that because I'm not looking for a job. So once you have applied, it will then end up in your application screen. It will end up here. for you to see and keep track of the status of everything. Let me show you one that goes to an external site. So we have this Campus Governor Challenge Director Fall Internship. It will say apply externally. That's how you know it's not within Handshake. So you're going to maybe have to create a profile in their external site to apply for that particular job. So if we click on that one, it'll still tell you to attach your resume. It's not going to do anything in Handshake though. So don't think you've applied and that's it. Then you would click on external application and you'll see it directs you to this particular site for you to actually apply for the job. And so they have their own kind of information they want you to fill out. So we've applied for jobs now, and you can set up alerts, you can favorite jobs. So if you have it down here and you're like, okay, these are really great jobs. I want to definitely, I want to start over. Let me just do my favorite jobs. You don't have any right now, but you can click on the star to do that. Let's clear all of the notifications and let's do management. Again, management, let's do full-time and let's do Tulsa. And let's click off, I'm still on the favorite job, let's click off of that. And so you can set the mile radius, so you can see the Buckle has some training programs, Enterprise does. So all sorts of ways you can set up a search to look for different jobs or internships. If we move over to applications, so you can see here's the job I applied for, but I didn't really apply for it because Handshake won't track the external ones. But you can see though, this one was internal, this one was, or not internal, this was in Handshake, this was in Handshake. You can see your application pending or if it's been reviewed. If it's tied to an interview schedule, you'll also see that is pending as well. Once you get, you come back and you check, once you have an on-campus interview, you click on the on-campus interview, you'll get notified. This tells you the on-campus interviews. If you've been selected, you'll have a notification under the company name and also an application that you can sign up for an on-campus interview. And those are interviews that are held here on campus. You'll see that nothing's there yet because the application deadline for these are not until September to even start the process to think about on-campus interviews. Lastly, we want to look at employers. This is where any employer in Handshake you can search and you can follow them. So let's say you want to work for Disney. You can type in Disney. And here's the Walt Disney Company. And so you want to follow them. And you just kind of want to see what's out here for the Walt Disney Company as far as reviews, interviews, that kind of thing. Is it a good place to work? Students who have worked here. It also gives you an email. An email, more than likely it will give you an email address where you can email someone and ask about their internship program. You can link with them on through email or Twitter in this particular area. Sometimes they'll have a public staff list you can reach out to, but this email works great right here. Also their website, and then any attachments as far as fact sheets, stuff you would need to know about working for Disney that may not be answered in the question and answer. And so then you can just go back. And again, now I'm following that company, and I can kind of see, okay, you know, if something happens, if there's a job posted on our site, then I can go and apply for it. So Handshake works that for employers to post a job, they have to be connected with the University of Tulsa. On this employers page here, you can search any job or you can search any employer who isn't necessarily connected with TU. And that's what's great about Handshake that we didn't get in our old system. We did not get was that the diversity and the access to multiple organizations, different organizations globally that may not always come to campus, but we want to give our students access to those employers. So this is just a quick and dirty look at how to Handshake to set up your profile, some of the functionalities of it. We will be hosting workshops throughout the year, and definitely encourage you to stop by those workshops or to come by my office in Helm 215 to learn more or to get your questions or to ask questions about Handshake and how it works. Thanks, and feel free to always reach out to me, Leonel-Thompson at utulsa.edu, and I'm in Helmer Call, room 215.